Good morning. My name is Samantha Riles from Sugar Research Australia, and I'd like to welcome you to our third milling webinar for 2019. Today, David Moller from Queensland University of Technology and Bruce King from Sugar Research Institute will be presenting the topic Integrated Standardised Competency-Based Training for Sugar Milling Operations. Today's presentation will be recorded and we will send a copy of it to you via email and also load onto our website. We encourage you to take an active part in today's webinar by asking questions. As this webinar is in listen-only mode, you can do this at any time through the webinar by typing your question into the message box, which is located in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. David and Bruce are happy to answer your questions during their presentation. If you have any technical issues, the team at Redback will be able to assist. Please type any technical issues you may be having into the message box on the bottom left of your screen and someone will reply to you privately. And if you're experiencing any issues in hearing the sound coming from your computer, please feel free to listen to the webinar through your phone. To do this, simply dial the toll-free 1-800 number provided in the message box and when prompted, enter the password provided. Please note that today we're showing a live webinar, a live website presentation, and we are noticing a slight delay between the screens. I'd now like to hand over to your presenters for today, David and Bruce. Thank you.
Thanks, Sam. Morning, everybody. It's Bruce here. Welcome to this webinar. What we're going to do is slightly work through what's currently available, how you access it, and other features that we've developed. Currently, the ASIT is being used by about 354 users, and currently they're logging in for about 640 hours per year. We expect this to increase during the maintenance season as we get closer towards start up the mills this year. Hopefully everybody can hear me clearly.
Good morning everyone, it's David. What I'd like to show you now, this is an example of a screen that would happen for people that would log in. There are each factory, each company has its own login information, and so the login screen is slightly different. This is just the generic screen. So I'm just going to log in now. When a user is set up into the system, they'll be given a login and a password, as I've just shown here, and I'll just log in. When the user logs into the system, when a learner logs into the system, what is displayed is the courses that have been allocated to that learner. That's controlled by the HR training departments at the factories, and what I've shown you here is all of the possible courses that are available for use now. Bruce, if you'd just like to read through them.
Okay, so we've got a few different variations. We've got the ASIT SRI videos. So these are the 52 videos that SRI's developed with my beautiful face in them. These are directed towards your operators, so they can use those at any time. These are set up in a manner that you can open any video, use it at any time, so there's no working through a particular system to watch them. If we go across to the third one, we've got...
Sorry Bruce, I've just opened up the SRI videos.
Okay, it's just various, it hasn't appeared on my screen yet. I'm just trying to check everybody else can hear what I'm saying. Okay, it still hasn't come through, Dave. It's a massive lag time at the moment on this particular system. Okay, so Dave, has everybody got that screen now?
Yes, it's moved on to the next screen. Thanks, Bruce and David.
Okay, that's good. I think John's just typing in a question there, because I can't see the questions anymore either, so I'll just rely on Red
Yeah, no
back
questions at
recording.
the moment.
All right, that's good. Okay, so here we have the videos. They start off with the general front end and back end of the mill, and then they run through each particular operator station, all the way down to sugar drying. So there's a bit there for everybody. We still have some more in development, so hopefully over the next year or two there'll be about another 10 videos to add to this collection. Any questions about the videos?
One of the key things about the videos is that you can just search through the video to something that you're interested in, and then open up the video and then just watch the short video in that area. There's no restrictions on the order of which you watch the videos in.
Yeah. Once you've got access for one of your learners, they can watch these as many times as they need to throughout the year. There's no restriction on the number of times you see a particular video at all.
So I've just gone back to the overview page.
Yep, that hasn't come up quite yet though. Okay, Dave, it's now back on to the home screen. If you want to talk about the SO Train HO2 module, Dave.
So there are within the courses available, there are a number of different options. One of the things that are available now is all of the existing SO Train and SRM training materials have been collected together in one course. And what I'd like to show you now is the clarification and mud filtration SO Train courses. So these courses were developed within the sugar industry some time ago. I think SRM was late 80s. SO Train was the early 2000s. These weren't mapped to any industry standard modules, and these are paper-based courses. So again, this course has been set up like a reference course so that you can find a topic that you're interested in and you can just do the work in that topic. Has it come up yet, Bruce?
Yeah, it's just come up. So there's a particular thing to look at here on this screen where it says start. You'll see it says start to every course, to every part of the course. So you can start at any part of this particular course.
So say there were some issues in the factory with the flash tank. You can just go straight to this module and click on start. And the SO Train material is here, and you can click on that and that will open up the PDF file containing all of the SO Train material about the flash tank.
Yep, that's just slowly coming up now, Dave. Okay, that's on screen now.
So in this way, all of those paper-based courses are also available within this learning system. So I'll just go back.
Yep.
There's tell me when this screen's up, Bruce, the overview.
Back to the home screen, yeah.
So there's both all of the SO train documents and all of the SRM documents associated with this material, and I've also put the SRI videos in this course as well. Has it come up?
We're just, yeah, it just came up then. So it's just got to, we're back on clarification, SO train module, just showing the different units that are available within that module.
And on the right-hand side, as you look at it, there's all the SO train documents, and below that is all the SRM documents for SRM 016 juice clarification.
Yeah, so everybody knows with the SRM modules there was over 90 to be written. I think 13 got completed or partly completed. So you won't find everything for every SRM module there.
So as part of this project, the first part of the project was to select an online training system, and that's what we've got before you. The second part was to put all the existing SRM and SO train material online, which it is. And the third part was to develop 3 modules that are mapped to the national competencies. And what we'd like to show you today is the latest one that has been released, which is the low-grade fuel module, which has been mapped to the national FDF10 sugar industry modules.
Yeah, for anybody who's not certain about that, there's a site on the web called training.gov which puts all the national training documents on. So if you look at that, there's about 70 odd for the sugar industry there, and they cover everything you could think of in the sugar industry. Within each of those training documents, so if you look at the low-grade fuel ones, there's a number of knowledge components to it, a number of skills components, and it looks at the depth of understanding required to those. So this low-grade fuels module at ASIT FO3 is fully mapped to that training.gov document. If you've used the high-grade fuels, the low-grade fuels set up the same. So it's set up in such a way that it's a course that you're required to work through from start to finish. So Dave's just got up on the screen now. Hopefully you can all see it. It does a little welcome statement. Tells you a little bit about it. Tells you how you'll see your progress throughout the course, etc. From that, once Dave gets past that screen, it then goes into some terms and conditions and acknowledgements, and you have to accept the terms and conditions before you can proceed with the course. So Dave's hopefully just seeing that screen now where Dave's accepted the terms and conditions. It will then allow you to get access to the actual course. So the course, as I said, is fully mapped, so you'll see things like 0.1, 0.2, 1.12, so these are all mapped to the training standards. With each screen, any word that is underlined is part of the glossary, and you'd get a more scientific or complete definition if you go to that particular one. So Dave's just gone to Mathscrete. Mathscrete comes up with a better definition or a more complete definition for that particular term. Each of the screens obviously has pictures on it or diagrams or charts or information that's going to assist the operator in doing their particular job. Once you keep working through, Dave's gone to the next screen now. Hopefully you can see that. There's going to be a series of quiz questions, which is to allow the operator to check that they're understanding what they're reading as they go through. It does an automatic check, so you put in the answers it chooses, you check it, it will tell you you did great work there. If you get it wrong, it will tell you the correct answer, and if you go to more information, it will take you back to the content from which that question was taken. So rather than the operator having to search for, or the learner to search for that information, it just comes back up for them. This course is self-paced. A person can work through it however quickly or they wish to. So you can just keep working through it. If you log out of the system at any time, it'll take you straight back to where you were last at that particular course. The questions are set up in a number of different ways. So we've got multiple choice, multi-choice. We've got hotspot. We've got drag and drop. We've got matching questions. So there's a variety of types of questions to try and keep everybody interested. So you can see there Dave can do real well on that question. So it asks him to have a check of the information, go through there. And again, it just keeps working through that particular sequence. If you have an experienced operator and you just want to check that their knowledge is up to date, what you can do is get them to log on, accept the terms and conditions, and then from the Industry Steering Committee, they asked us to allow the exam to be open at the completion of the course. So a person can go straight from the terms and conditions to the exam. The exam is in two parts. So there's a safety component. The safety component is 5 questions, of which you must get 100%. Those 5 questions are randomly selected from a bank of, I think there's about 10 or 12, and each of the answers are randomly generated in any order. So 2 operators sitting together would not get the same test. So there it is down the bottom there, testing of low-grade fuels FDF 10 module, low-grade fuels FDF 10 safety assessment. You can see that at the moment that's locked. So if we started that, it will unlock that, but then we'll have to get 100% on those 5 questions to get to the general assessment. General assessment is 20 questions out of a bank of about 80 for the low-grade fuels, again randomly generated with random solutions. The Industry Steering Committee asked us to set that at 80%, so that's currently set at 80% to get you through your certificate. So if you complete both the safety assessment and the general assessment to the required levels, you'll get your certificate. The certificate has a unique identifier, so each person that gets the certificate, I think it's a 12-digit number and letter sequence. And so therefore you'll be able to see that they've completed that course on what date, etc. So far we've completed the high-grade fuels and the low-grade fuels, and by the end of next week the crystallizers will be up as well.
A couple of things about the structure of the LMS is that it remembers where you're at every time you log in. So you don't have to remember, it automatically takes you to the next area, the next page you would be due to look at. Doesn't matter whether you've logged in on your phone and then go to work and log in on a computer, it remembers where you're logged in. So it's irrespective of the tool that you use to log in on. The other thing about the courses that have been mapped to the national competencies is that the courses can only teach the knowledge competency component, and it assesses on the knowledge competency component. As part of the development of these courses, we've also developed a skills competency checklist, and we can see here there's a skills competency checklist for the low-grade fuels, and I've just downloaded it. I'll just open it up. And this is the skills competency checklist that could be used by a person at a suitably qualified person at your site to check the skills of the operators. So the skills checklist, along with the online knowledge competency assessment, could then be used as evidence for a satisfaction of the national competency levels.
That document, it's just not coming up on my screen at the moment, but that document is written in Word, so any mill can change it to however they wish. So if they want to put their own mill logo on it, they can. I've set it up as, I think it was over a number of weeks. People might want to do it over a number of shifts, so over a certain time period or an unlimited time period. So each company can set that up however they wish. Probably the one thing to note though is that the skills mentioned in the checklist are the skills that are in the training.gov standards. So that's why they're exactly as written as they are.
And there may be additional skills or different skills that should be tested at each site depending on the equipment at each site.
Okay. That's one thing to be very aware of. Each of these are written for the whole of the Australian industry, so we have not focused on a particular mill or milling company and their equipment. So if you have specific equipment that you wish to add to these courses too, then you can do so, and we'll explain a bit more about that in a moment.
So we've got the courses that are mapped to the national competencies. We've got the low-grade pupils, as hopefully you can see before you. We've also got the high-grade pupils and sugar drying, which is ready. And the plan is by the end of next week we'll have cooling crystallisation up and running and available for users at any of the Australian sugar mills. The system is also set up so that individual companies can develop their own training courses within this and use this system to do their own training. Bruce?
Yeah, well, currently we've got a couple of companies doing that, so they've got their contractor induction and staff induction on the system, and they're doing that. So you can develop your own courses and feed them in. If you had a particular type of high-grade fugal that you wanted to add a particular course for your factory, then you can add that course in. And we've been around to each of the milling companies to show the HR how those courses can be developed, or we can assist you with development of those courses should you require that. So there's a number of companies already starting down that path as well. This has come about so far from SRA funding. So this first three modules plus putting the SRI videos and SRA training that comes through from SRA funding. David and I have applied for another batch of funding, which we haven't heard whether we're successful or not, but we're into the last round, so we're hoping. And it will cover the units of heating and clarification, filtration, evaporation and crystallization over the next 3 years. So,
just one other comment about the courses. Because they're platform independent, they can be all totally done using a mobile phone and suitable smartphone and a suitable internet connection. They can be done on any computer, any tablet, anywhere, anyhow. So it is possible for companies to set up users and get the users to undertake the course before they are even employed. So it could be even used as a pre-employment screening test if companies so desire.
yeah. The other thing is that a user can use this platform for as many courses as they want. So you're not restricted to a user being limited to a number of courses. that your HR department allows them access to. That's only limited by the number of available courses, so you can pick and choose which courses the user is able to access.
So one of the courses is this Introduction to Sugar Factory Processing. This is a fairly basic introduction course. Again, it's got a welcome screen. Again, it's set up in a structured manner so that you just walk through the course. Tell me when it comes up on the screen, Bruce.
Yeah, I will. I'll talk about that too. It's just come up now. So everybody knows the way we've set up the training platform is a little bit different to the website we're using at the moment. It recognises your speed of download and makes sure everything's operating to the speed of the download that you're able to achieve. So this isn't representing the lag time that would occur if you're logging on directly into Australian sugar industry training site. So Dave's just come up now.
So this course is a very basic overview of factory operations course. It gives an introduction to sugar factory processing, and for example, this course would be a useful course for new people to the industry to have a quick read through. It gives them the terms that we use throughout the industry, and so this would be a very good course for a new operator or a new apprentice or someone like that to start and learn about the terms of the industry. It's a fairly basic course, but it gives you some background.
Yeah, again, this one's got a glossary. You can see there's words underlined, but it's set up a little bit differently to the FDF team courses. The other question we always get asked is the cost. Cost is going to end up being, after a few more calculations, it's going to be $30 per year per user. That gives that user access to as many courses, as we said, as you require them to do. At the moment, until the end of this year, all courses, all users have been free, so the industry can try as much as they like. David and I would love all the feedback we can get on anything that you can provide, please.
So what we haven't got time to show you today is that the courses have got the facility to send emails to trainers, so that as the person progresses through a course, an email can be sent to a suitable trainer to say that this learner has got to this stage of the course. That doesn't have to be an assessment, that can just be a certain part of the course. So for example, in the high grade bugles, it can be after they've finished just talking about the high grade bugles, an email can be sent to someone, and you can organise who it's being sent to, and then that person, next time they see that operator, they can ask them, have they got any questions, for example. Those trainers have also got the ability to track the progress of learners through the system, and they've got a couple of different facilities available to them. What we're looking at now, this is a learner screen, and obviously learners haven't got the ability to track other people's progress. Bruce, have you got any more comments? Otherwise, I think we might go to some questions.
No, I'm good. If people have got questions, that'd be great.
It's Sam from SRA here. I was just curious that if people wanted to put up their induction for their company, do you help with the filming of it all, or is it up to the companies to provide that content to you?
Sam, I'll answer that. There's two options. We can provide a training course and we have done these training courses a number of times throughout the industry, so that people can develop their own content independent of us, and put it up on the system and then just start to use it. That training course takes 3 days. or you can ask us to assist in the process. And Bruce is assisting one company with that process at the moment.
And while the content at the moment is milling related that we can see, there's no reason why an organisation couldn't put up their health and safety inductions, etc. on this platform.
Samantha, those courses actually exist at the moment. There's some companies that have got them. We've set it up so that other companies can't see content that has been developed by another company, and that's how we've set it up. So I haven't displayed any of those courses, but they are actually within the system now, and I've just chosen not to display them. So it is all milling related at the moment. We've had a number of discussions with the non-milling sector about doing a harvester and haul-out training courses, or 6 Easy Steps courses, or a number of things like this. The facility is available for use now for those sorts of activities. We just haven't developed any content for those activities as yet. Similarly, a company such as SRA, they could do all of the internal training using this system now. So all of that is available. It is not yet being utilised. Bruce?
Yeah, each company just ends up with their own sub-environment. Dave and I can feed courses down into that, and in the sub-environment, the company itself can add any courses or training it wishes to. So each company will have a quite different setup in the finish if they're adding a lot of different courses to it.
One other point is that for each company, for each sub-environment, as Bruce mentioned, there is the facility to have a different look, different colours, different styles. So, for example, if SRA wanted to do all their internal training, they would have a different website. It'd still be within the system, but a slightly different website name. And people coming into it would look like an SRA site. It wouldn't look like, it wouldn't have this banner at the top. It would have just the SRA banner. It can be SRA colours. It can be all orange and black, as opposed to the blue and sort of yellow colour scheme that we've chosen for this one. So all of that is configurable at the company login level. But all of the courses are held within the same database.
Just so you know, this LMS, Dave said at the start, we started off with about 60 LMSs to have a look at. We whittled that down to about 6 in the finish, and this one we found was the best one for usability, for us developing courses, and also the most cost-effective of any LMS we could find. So a lot of time went into finding an LMS that was appropriate for the industry.
I was just trying to check, but I can't. I think to date, Bruce and I have developed I think it's just over 2,500 pages of information, of which is effectively each different screen. So there's a fair bit of content within here. It looks simple. There's only what is that? There's only 11 courses, industry courses that are available, but behind those 11 industry courses there's nearly 2,500 pages of information.
So Sam, are you getting any questions through from anybody?
Yeah, so now's your opportunity to ask any questions. You can just type those into the chat box at the side, and David and Bruce will be happy to talk you through any questions that you have on the platform. So I'll just give you a minute to see if we have any questions come through. When we send the webinar recording, I'll make sure that I include David and Bruce's contact details as well.
Just one other quick comment, Samantha, is that the TO Train course has also been moved into this new platform. It was reviewed at the traffic officers meeting last month, and they're just checking that it still meets the national competency standards, and then that will be released officially as well.
Okay, we have a question here. David, would you like to discuss future development plans?
Okay, I can discuss that. The future development plans is reliant on SRA funding, which I said we've applied for. So we would work through an order heating and clarification as the next unit after the cooling crystallisers, then filtration, then the evaporators, and then crystallisation over the next 3 years. So that's the future at the moment. And as David mentioned, the non-milling sector may also play a large role in those plans.
So one of the key points I think we need to mention is the system is here, it's ready to go. Like I said, after 3 days training, people within the industry can develop their own content and actually develop their own courses from go to woe without involvement by myself and Bruce at all. The current project has had funding in it to do a number of these courses, and we've done a number of these courses. I'm happy to do another course if there is sufficient demand, if people are interested in developing their own courses. But the current project funding ends this year. So after that, the next lot of project funding is simply to develop those modules that Bruce has mentioned. And there is also a small amount of money within the fees that the mills will be paying going forward to continually develop the system and upgrade the pictures and the videos through a continuous improvement program on each course. But the resources required to develop a full course are such that it will require industry funding. It's a significant time and effort, particularly in the mapping process to the national competencies and making sure that we've got all the T's crossed and the I's dotted in that cross mapping matrix process.
Okay, any further comments from David or Bruce?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you both for presenting today and for your time. Thank you all for attending our third SRA QUT milling webinar. We hope that you found it of value and are keen to get feedback from you. You will see a feedback survey on your screen and we'd like you to complete. It will only take a few minutes of your time and will allow us to improve our webinars in the future. Our next milling webinar will be held on 22 May and will be presented by Heidi de Clau from Sugar Research Australia, who will speak about online analysis systems to measure the available nutrients in mill mud. Please go to the SRA webpage to see our previous and upcoming webinar topics. Thank you.